You see, the one thing that really impressed me was not only the demonstration from our fighters, but the fact that we saw young Ambazonians, potential future fighters, who also came out with their own tools or semblance of tools of war made out of local material, demonstrating that they are ready to take over from their senior brothers and sisters and to continue the fight. Good day, fellow Ambazonians. Today is October the 3rd, 2024. Our Independence Day celebration has come and gone. Congratulations to all our brave warriors, our civilian population who defied the intimidation coming from the colonial terrorist soldiers of the Republic of Cameroun to come out in their numbers to celebrate our independence. My hope in our struggle, our liberation quest, is restored. I'm even more optimistic of the future. I am really proud to be an Ambazonian, free of all colonial influences. You see, the one thing that really impressed me was not only the demonstration from our fighters, but the fact that we saw young Ambazonians, potential future fighters, who also came out with their own tools or semblance of tools of war made out of local material, demonstrating that they are ready to take over from their senior brothers and sisters and to continue the fight. I was really very impressed, which showed that alongside these seasoned fighters, we have a contingent of willing potential fighters to take over from them and to make sure that Ambazonia is free eventually. It shows that we will never give up, never run out of fighters. We will not be killed to extinction by La République du Cameroun. La République du Cameroun should get this lesson. If they were hoping that they can kill our fighters to extinction, this image should prove to them that Ambazonia is determined to stay the course until total freedom. You see, and I would like to ask these blacklegs, enablers, all of the One Cameroon proponents, the fence-sitters and detractors. My question to you is this. When you see the number of Ambazonian fighters on the ground, well-equipped, motivated and determined, do you imagine that there will come a time or a day when they will simply disappear, vanish into oblivion? That they will lay down their arms and become slaves under La République du Cameroun again? Of course, you know that is not going to happen. You see, La République du Cameroun has tried every trick in their bag of tricks to deceive and disarm our fighters. You can imagine the so-called DDR or the infamous DDR centers, and all that has come to nothing. The so-called DDR centers have failed. How many of our fighters do you see going to the DDR center these days, our fighters have discovered, as we told them before, that these were centers of entrapment. That these so-called DDR centers were centers of entrapment. That La République will not and has never kept its word. That any promises that are given to them are as worthless or even more worthless as any paper they were written on. Unfortunately, of course, some of our fighters who failed to listen to our warnings are now finding out the hard way. They are now being held as prisoners, and some are being killed and buried in mass graves, as we saw in Boya recently. You see, I want you to take note of what I'm about to say here. If we ever hope to live in a free and prosperous country where the rights and liberties of our people are respected, then it is imperative that we must never again allow ourselves to remain defenseless. I say it again. If we ever hope to live in a free country where the rights and liberties of our people are respected, then it is imperative that we must never again allow ourselves to remain defenseless. Our freedom and prosperity depends on our ability to defend these values. This implies that we must have a military that is disciplined and equipped to protect our people, our territory, our resources, and our institutions. This is non-negotiable. Again, let us take the example of the Israelites. We should learn from the example of the Jews who were almost killed to extinction by the Nazis. They learned from that experience never again to allow themselves vulnerable again. That is why they were determined to build a military that was capable of defending them against any future aggression. That is why they are able to survive today in the Middle East, surrounded by Arab states. Ours must not be any different. We must be determined never to allow ourselves vulnerable again. And I would like to call on us, fellow comrades. I don't care what you are doing in this struggle. Whether you're an activist, a leader, a resource mobilizer, whatever you do, if you are not doing what you can to put resources in the hands of our liberation fighters to equip them so they are able to do the job of defending our homeland, I would say you are falling short of your responsibilities. That should be our primordial responsibility. No matter what you do, you can sit on a social media and write all day, or you can talk all day. If you are not putting resources in the hands of our liberation fighters so they can be able to do what they are supposed to do, then you are falling short of your responsibility. I'm therefore calling on us to recommit ourselves to this purpose, making sure that we are providing them with the tools that they need to defend our homeland and our people. This is non-negotiable. In order to achieve this, there are 3 requirements which must be met in order to make sure that we successfully defend our territory, our resources, and our people. There are 3 things which must be done, and these are: number 1, we must embark on the proper training of our fighters to ensure that they are tactically and mentally ready to perform their roles as defenders of our homeland and our people. They deserve the proper training so they know exactly what their roles and responsibilities are. Some of them are acting out of ignorance and we must correct that. Number two, we must provide them with the equipment to accomplish this task. As I've said, we must be able to put in their hands the tools that are needed for them to do what they have to do. Number three, we must instill in them a sense of discipline that is required of every good soldier, with emphasis on the protection of our civilian population. It is imperative for us to change the image of our fighters in the eyes of our people, which some rogue elements amongst them have tried to destroy. Thank God that some benevolent spirits are beginning to bring some sanity to the conduct of our fighters by bringing justice to those who have misled them up to this time. We cannot, however, leave it up to others to do this for us. We must do our part to make sure that our fighters are provided with the moral code that will guide them or guide their interactions with our civilian population. This moral code is imperative. We must provide them with a moral code because, as I've said before, some of these guys go out and do things out of ignorance. We have to provide them with a moral code that will guide them in their interactions with our civilian population. It is therefore the responsibility of every commander, general, colonel, you name it, to ensure that the foot soldiers under their control conduct themselves with the highest ethical standards. Because if you should fail to discipline them and they go out there and engage in some criminal behavior, you too will be held responsible for their actions. Let us remember, the day will come when this war will be over and people will be responsible for their actions or inactions during the conduct of this war. It does not matter your exploits on the battlefield. If you lack discipline, you cannot be considered a good soldier. Our liberation fighters must distinguish themselves by their conduct from the criminal and annexation forces of La République du Cameroun. They must display a reputation which will show to our people that they are their true liberators and protectors. Our people must feel safe around our fighters. This is imperative. There is one suggestion I would like to make here for the sake of continuous improvement in how we prosecute this war of liberation. I will suggest here that it is necessary for us to modify our ghost town, our Monday ghost town, to include an element that adds value to this day. And what I'm saying is this, that we add an element of what I'll call keep Ambazonia clean. Keep Ambazonia clean on every Monday morning, where our civilians should be required to come out and clean around their environment, clean around their houses, clean the roadways, clean the waterways, fill potholes on the streets, do landscaping, plant flowers, you name it. Especially when it comes to filling the potholes on the streets, we consider that day to be a day when there is no traffic on the roads. So it will be a good day for our civilian population to come out and perform that task, since there will be no traffic on the streets. And we must reinstate in our people this spirit of self-reliance. We cannot depend on any colonial administration in our territory to do that for us, because as we have seen, they don't know how to do it, and they are not even willing to do it. They cannot do it, and they are not willing to do it. We must take our destiny into our own hands and shape it as we see fit. Our restoration fighters will therefore be charged with the full implementation of of these efforts, so that our civilian population should not just see them as people who come around to fight, but to ensure that they have a different image, which is that which lends some positive element to their actions by ensuring that our environment is clean, is orderly. As they say, cleanliness is next to godliness. We cannot rely on La République du Cameroun to do for us what they have failed to do for the past 63 years. If we must advance as a people, we will have to do it ourselves. That is why their children, La République du Cameroun, still go to school under trees as compared to the southern Cameroon, Ambazonia, where the organized structure of PTAs constructs different schools for our children, to the amazement of La République du Cameroun people or citizens. We must rekindle the spirit of self-reliance until our government is seated in Boya to provide more guidance and support to our developmental needs. I will urge the leadership of our liberation movement to consider these suggestions, which I believe, if well implemented, could help to improve the image of our struggle in the eyes of our people and the international community at large. I would like again to heartily thank our freedom fighters and our civilians for their patriotic manifestations on October 1st, 2024, our Independence Day. Ambazonia, fellow comrades, is here to stay. It is up to us to actualize it. So please rekindle your support to the struggle, provide moral and financial and material support to our liberation fighters to make sure that they are doing the right thing and that they are doing it the right way. I think the images we saw on October 1st should give us all the hope that the spirit of freedom for the Ambazonian people is very much alive. It cannot be killed, it cannot be caged, it cannot be imprisoned, and we must therefore be hopeful that brighter days lie ahead. Again, happy Independence Day to you all. Stay blessed. Mike Posey.